Welcome to another edition of PNW Best Life Harvest Recreation. This week, we got the big news. The coast is going to reopen, the coastal streams in the state of Washington for mostly coho, but that's exciting. The rains brought the fish upriver, and yeah, we're just in a much better spot. So we're gonna get those openers, that and a lot of other topics too. Stick with us as we jump right into what's new. All right, so let's see what's new on pnwbestlife.com and what the rule changes are from WFW that you should know about. Obviously, the biggest one we got to talk about is fishing on most coastal rivers and tributaries reopening beginning Saturday, October 29th for Grays Harbor area rivers in the South Coast, and Monday, October 31st for the North Coast, which I believe the dividing line is the Quinault River being the North Coast. And you have to take a look at the specific announcement because in the e-regs, as it has each river system, each stream with the specifics. In most cases, the permanent regulations have been reinstated, but in some you have Chinook retention being removed, even if it was in the permanent reg. So you have to read the specifics there. Very exciting. We got the rain, and now we got the reopener, and there's we'll talk about it more in the data, but I think there's a really healthy coho return on the coast, and definitely worth your time to get out there and toss some spinners, toss some jigs, maybe some eggs, get some coho to go out there on the coast. Great opportunity coming up here. So you know, if you're in the North Sound, fishing on the Cascade River going back to 7 days per week is definitely good news. Lots of opportunity there. Again, you have to read the specifics as you know, you've got you know, I think a bait restriction up there. Read the specifics in the regs though, on the e-regs or on pnwbestlife.com. But there's a good return going on right now on the Skagit, and a lot of those fish are bound for the Cascade River, the hatchery there. Take a look at that. If you're a winter warrior and need an excuse to, you know, get out on the water and keep the boat running, you don't winterize your boat, Marine Area 11 opening for Blackmouth on November 1st. Only Sunday through Wednesday, but hopefully that'll keep a season running as long as possible, and maybe get us to our next Blackmouth opportunity in Marine Area 10. But we'll see. You know, Green River, Cowlitz County, not the one near Puget Sound, reopens for fishing below the Toutle hatchery. That's connected to the Toutle River, which is connected to the Cowlitz River. There you go. And then Washougal River also returning to permanent rule due to increased water flows there and returns of fish. So that's good news for folks down south as well. All right, so we got to talk about this other story that the Seattle Times put out. Generally, not a fan of Seattle Times because you know, largely because they're kind of anti-recreational angler with how they've covered different issues in the past. But this is an interesting story where they essentially cover some of what the WFW biologists are doing with rivers. In this case, it's the New Whatcom River, which is a Chehalis trib, and they're doing counts of reds to figure out the health of the wild fish returning to that tributary. And you know, what they essentially cover is that due to the drought and the low water conditions, you've had fewer fish moving up to spawn, which I think we all would agree that it makes sense. But their spawning locations that have spawned it seem to be in lower parts of the river. And so it's interesting that you know, as WFW is evaluating the impact of the drought, that we do have an opportunity, as we shared earlier, coming up here on the coast. But for some of these early fish that may have spawned already, if they did so lower down, the problem with that is, you know, when big water comes, a lot of times it'll wash those reds out, wash those eggs out before they have a chance to get going. So we may see some longer term effects from the low water, depending on how intense the winter is. And you know, we've been getting rain, but we haven't had a real downpour that's jacked all the rivers up either. So okay, as I was saying last week, I was going to get Fish Central Washington for salmon. I was over fishing the Yakima, which was just a really cool opportunity to have kind of a change of scenery, different type of setting for salmon fishing, and really nice people I met down there, really good sportsmen. You know, everyone's, you know, using bobbers or jigs or spinners, you know, no shenanigans like what we're used to on the west side, seeing at any particular popular salmon fishing hole. So you know, I had my gear set up from the last coastal trip, and I had a BNR, shout out to BNR soft beads, you know, one of their 14 millimeter, I believe 16 millimeter, somewhere in there, a red soft bead on, and you know, I matched my bobber stop to what other people were doing, and just never fished this spot before, just threw it out there, and few, you know, probably about 10 seconds into the drift, bobber down, fish on, and landed this you know, this Chinook that was maybe around 10 pounds, and you know, obviously further along in the spawning process, you know, I didn't keep it, but just a beautiful fish still, and a lot of fights still, and you know, these fish come up through the Columbia and then 50 miles almost of Yakima River, so they're, you know, they definitely have some wear on them, but just a really cool opportunity. You know, it closes though after October 31st, so you know, if you were going to do this, you'd probably need to have plans this weekend to go take advantage of it, but definitely keep it in the back of your mind for next year or other years as when they open it. It's a cool opportunity. Also got this coho on a spinner. You know, I've been tossing spinners, you know, interspersed with the bead and the eggs, and you know, but I wasn't hooking anything. And then, you know, the sun really broke through and got really bright, and I said, you know, let me go back to that spinner and see. Sometimes you get sometimes the sun hurts you, sometimes it helps you. I thought, you know, my spinner will have a little extra flash on it. Sure enough, first cast, after the sun really shone through, and hooked this coho very close to my feet, which is why, you know, you never give up on a spinner cast. You work that thing all the way back to you, because man, they often will follow it and hit a few feet from you. So, oh, my bad. And it's this someone? Whose is this? Oh wait, what? Hold on, what's that? I was like, whose bobber is this? How is that even possible?
I moved down here thinking it was me and my brother.
It was faster. I'm like looking at it going like, is anyone attached to this bobber? Where's this bobber from? Way the hell up there? Oh, that was funny. All right, state of time. Let's talk through some of this data here. So, first of all, we got to talk about stream flows. You know, we've been getting rain off and on for the last week or so, and but it's been the good kind. It's been raising water levels, getting fish into hatcheries, back on the spawning grounds in the upper parts of the river. But it hasn't been these just, you know, jacked up flows where they go sky high, and you know, then we're waiting a while for them to come down. So it's been good. It's kind of Goldilocks, just enough rain, not too much. Hopefully that continues. I know there's a lot of rain coming up over the next 7 days, so we'll see. With the coast reopening though, you gotta love what you're seeing here as these flows start to head up, and just create a little bit more opportunity. So one of the things that I think is a little nuts is the return so far, coho return on the Satsup's. This is a Chehalis trib. You know, a lot of people love to fish it, but I had to check. I looked at my chart, and then I had to go back to the actual escapement report just to make sure the number was accurate. But yeah, like 15,000 coho returned or were counted in the last week at one of the hatcheries on the Satsup's, which is a crazy number for that stream and the water flow. And I gotta imagine there's more stacked up behind that those fish that came in. And so, I mean, what a great opportunity that could be. And I wouldn't isolate that to the Satsup's. I think all your Grays Harbor rivers are going to be stuffed with coho, and that is going to be a place where a lot of people focus. Reopening on Saturday, and a lot of people will be out there. So expect some combat fishing conditions there, I would say, but yeah, that's going to be a really cool opportunity. In North Sound, you got some great coho opportunities as well on the Samish, and then on the Skagit. Those numbers are fantastic as well, as we talked about with the Cascade going to 7 days a week. That is a worthwhile opportunity. You don't want to drive all the way to the coast. Stay local if you're in the North Sound, and that might really might really pay off. And of course, the Cowlitz may have peaked. Didn't quite get to 8,000 in a week, but it's still really high. I mean, 7,000, another 7,000 fish returning. Excellent opportunity, especially if you've got a boat, you know, a sled, and you can cover that water and get to where those coho are. But you know, from a bank bound standpoint, you know, there's a lot of spots on the Cowlitz for people to try and toss spinners, casting plugs. Bait will work under a bobber a lot of times there as well. Sometimes the fish, when you try to hit them all the way up at barrier, aren't very good biters. You know, you got to stay patient with it and try different things, twitching jigs as well. Figure out what's going to get them to go. But you'll see a lot of fish up there, and a lot of people trying to get them to go. So, all right, let's talk about the big opportunities for the week ahead. Of course, you know, we've been talking about it, but the coho is a must. Coho is a must-go ho on the coast, and yeah, you gotta get out there and get in on that. You know, before some of these rivers get blown out with all the rain coming. Definitely love to take advantage of that myself. Although I still have this tag to fill, and darn it, I am intent on finding a blacktail that is willing to go. Monday is probably my last day of hunting for that until the late season, and yeah, I'm gonna be laser focused on that. So I know a lot of you will as well, and of course, you know, if you're like me, you didn't winterize your boat, you know, you got a clock going. I got a clock going in the back of my head that's like, all right, I got to get this boat out again, and so something to do on the water. I'll probably have the boat out this week, and you know, I didn't really crab hardly at all during the summer, and certainly haven't crabbed yet in the winter, and definitely looking to take advantage of that. Hopefully, maybe even look for some squid, some daytime squid action, and you know, I know a few folks have been looking at that, but it seems like you got to have something to do while your pots are soaking. You know, years past, you know, we go Hood Canal, we drop the pots and go flounder fishing. That's an option as well. But with Area 9 open, you know, I'm thinking maybe drop up there and then go look for some of that North Sound squid, daytime squid possibility. I don't know. It's usually not the best when the rain's coming down. So so we'll see what's available there. I did think about trying Marine Area 11, blackmouth. You know, definitely it can be good on opening day. I mean, there's a lot of fish, you know, around the South Sound, and you know, that could be a good opener to go do. But I don't know. I'm not ready to go work a downrigger again yet. I'm having too much fun doing things that don't involve downriggers, and so yeah, so that's probably not top of my list. And that, but last, you've got to keep this in mind, especially if you're in Puget Sound area. The chum are in the rivers already, so I can't believe it. It's already chum time. Almost ready to turn the page to November, but you know, chum is incredible experience and so easy to get to go on bobbers, jigs, tip a little shrimp, and I'm gonna release my chum video here this weekend as well, and yeah, give you some ideas of how to get those to go as well. So hope you enjoyed this show. Trying to make it better every week, and more entertaining, more helpful, more information for you that helps you be successful with harvest recreation. That's what we're all about here. PNW Best Life YouTube channel, pnwbestlife.com. Give us a like and subscribe to the channel. You'll get this show and other content every week as we release it, and enable notifications so you'll get that message when new content drops. So you can follow us on Instagram at Pacific NW Best Life. Twitter, PNW Best Life, and Facebook, PNW Best Life as well. Hope you have success out there this week, and until next time, stay safe, take care.